Dear Life is the Mission. What is the significance of the Judeo-Christian 10 Commandments? Great question. I am chomping at the bit and ready to go. After 20 years of bottling this stuff in my mind, I'm ready to pour some pints, if you know what I mean. Last discussion, we talked about the uniqueness of this person that English history commonly identifies as the Christ or Jesus Christ, or more specifically named Yeshua in Hebrew, Isa in Arabic. Let me drop a few controversial questions like they're hot. Do you think when Jesus was born, he was born with complete knowledge, or did he have to learn it? Laying there, cooing in his mother's arms, when he looked up into Mary's eyes, did he possess the knowledge and wisdom of the 30-year-old Messiah self? Good question. Could he have talked at birth? Was he pretending he could not walk for the first few years to keep up the mystery? Or did his early days in Hebrew school spent memorizing the books of Moses influence his development? What was the early influence of this messianic character? What band did he listen to? Who was his rabbinical instructor? There's an interesting story from the book attributed to Luke in chapter 2. Here we find Yeshua Jesus in the temple at a very young age, but old enough to have already studied and memorized the first 5 books of what many of us would call the Bible. He is in the temple discussing the proper understanding of their sacred religious writings, because back then you were allowed to ask questions of the leader and were not considered rebellious for doing so. No pun intended. In fact, back then, questions were encouraged in the synagogue, aka the church, and different people had different views, and they were all sharing those views in the same temple. Wow, think about that. Today we will oust you for any disagreement. Different times. The story has Yeshua Jesus locked in deep discussion with the elders. His parents are looking for him. He is finally found. Yay, no Amber Alert. The story concludes with these words, saying, Yeshua Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Yeshua Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Jesus grew in wisdom. Interesting, don't you think? Don't even go to the and favor part. I'm not ready to tackle that line at this time, okay? Tremendous theological debates have happened here. One that has launched new denominations has been over what pre-installed software, aka supernatural skill set, the Christ was born with, and what he was not. But seriously, can you grow if you already know? No matter where you land on this pre-installed software issue, Jesus was nurtured in Judaism and raised to live by an ancient code that taught him his ideology in his formative years, a set of uniform laws that date back to early civilization. In fact, according to both Judaism and Christianity, these laws are the only words ever handwritten by the Creator himself. Everything since those stone tablets have been inspired through a human scribe, an angel, an apparition, a burning bush, a dream, a vision, or golden plates. The foundational ethics of Yeshua Jesus was bound up in carved tablets of stone and brought down from the mountain by Moses. Those 10 laws were to be Judaism's forever constitution for the continuation of a free and peaceable existence. And like all good religions, from that point on, their religious leaders started creating amendments to that constitution. But again, that is for another discussion. What is the current validity of those 10 original laws? Noted religious thinkers, aka theologians, still argue about their place in the life of a modern society. Some proclaim that those 10 laws simply show us how bad we are and teach us how unworthy we are of God's favor. That's an interesting scenario. Personally, I didn't need a law to tell me how bad I can be. I know bad. Leroy Brown has nothing on me. We are told that the Spirit of God, Elohim, had also written these laws on our hearts. Not an oblation procedure, but somehow placed them there. I don't have all the details. Google it. Others postulate that we can break the 10 laws with vigor because Yeshua Jesus kept them vicariously for us. I don't know. I have a hard time believing that because Jesus never murdered anyone, I now have the right to murder someone, no matter how much my worthless cousin deserves it. These are all good and legitimate hypotheses. But let's learn to skate before we tackle the triple axel, okay? These 10 commandments have brought on great debate in courtrooms and neighborhood front yards. For now, let me say where I stand. I would love to hear from you, okay? Ready? Here it goes. I do not believe these basic God-given 10 rules were put into place to teach you and me how bad we are. It only takes spending a few days with me to know how bad I am. I do not believe these rules were vicariously kept by Yeshua Jesus, so they have no impact or authority over me either. Jesus did not keep all the laws so that I could go out and kill and steal and cheat on my wife and covet my neighbor's donkey. If that is all Jesus came for, he should have never come. On the other side, I do not believe that these are insignificant ordinances set up to stifle my joy in life or your joy in life. I believe God came to give us life. I believe Christ came to give us life. I choose, listen. I choose to call these God's 10 greatest life-giving directives. I do believe these foundational axioms, aka the 10 commandments as we call them, okay, are set in place to give me abundant life. They require no divine interpretation. The fact that they are so heavily contested tells me that somebody is afraid of their simple truth. Avoiding the poster version, let me give you the original version of them from the original language of Exodus chapter 20. Are you ready? Number 1, don't create multiple gods. I will take care of your needs. Number 2, don't create any images that you think I should look like. Number 3, do not use my name flippantly. Number 4, one day a week as a free of work day. Okay, keep that. Okay. Number 5, honor your mother and your father. Number 6, do not murder. Number 7, do not commit adultery. Number 8, do not steal. Number 9, do not represent your neighbor falsely. Number 10, do not lust for something others have. Now when you see that, that doesn't look like a tough list to live by, does it? I'm just saying. Why would we be against anything on that list? Read the list for yourself and let's talk about the problems with my hypothesis next time. Send us your questions. I got to get the phone. Peace.